Hello, everybody, and welcome to another AIMBOT. Am I morally bankrupt or them? Here at the reading room, I'm Mark Reed. I will be your host for the next hour or so. I dressed up my set, my CG set. I did not dress up myself because I was lounging around, and I hope you're having a very, very happy festive season, whatever that means to you. And I want to talk a little bit about why we celebrate and what it means for us. I think that Christians sort of have this idea that the festive season belongs to them, that everything Christmas automatically is them. I really am reminded of Tim Minchin, who I absolutely adore. He comes from my neck of the woods. He's from the city that I come from, who sort of sung about what it means in Australia to have Christmas and that it's more about family. And he wrote a song called White Wine in the Sun, which was a Christmas song, obviously. White Wine in the Sun is obviously a Christmas song. I mean, what else would it be? But it was an amazing song that I won't play because I will get copy struck immediately and just struck down by the copyright gods of YouTube. May they forever pull their punches. But it sort of talks about just how he wants to see his family, how it's important for him. And let's be clear, Christianity has had a profound influence on the world, a very profound influence. But it sort of is one of those things that just because it's had an influence on the world doesn't mean that every celebration belongs to them. And Christmas has a lot of roots in a lot of different places. It has roots in the Norse or Germanic traditions of Yule. It has traditions that are new. This commercialized Christmas and gift giving wasn't originally one of the things that was the way to go. So I think we've got to separate what it means to have a Christmas with what it means to be a Christian. And I really believe that I really like the idea of Yule, the idea of seeing families and seeing friends and strengthening relationships. And I think this is what this stream is all about, that strengthening of relationships, that going to your community and sort of saying, hey, I do I do respect you and I do love you all, and all of that kind of stuff. I think that is really what it's about. And but that's not to say there isn't some nice things that Christianity added to Christmas. I think as atheists we kind of go, well, all religion's bad, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that Christianity gave a lot of good and a lot of bad things to the world. I don't see a problem as a secular humanist with saying, hey, I will take everything good from this philosophy, this religion, this whatever, and leave everything bad. There's no problem with that whatsoever. But just because we take good things from a philosophy or a religion or a worldview doesn't mean it belongs to them. So I have no problem with stealing anything beneficial for humanity from any philosophy or religion. And maybe I'm fine with stealing that because I'm Australian, but hey, I will happily and proudly say I will steal anything beneficial from anybody's worldview as long as it is good for the well-being of humans. But just because we steal that doesn't mean it then belongs to them. Just first off, I do have a couple of green things coming up that my program shows them green. And we've got Jessica, the Transmetal Alchemist, who's a real big friend of the channel. Hold on, I got a real big friend of the channel, and just an all-round awesome person. Messages: happy summer solstice to all Australians, New Zealanders, and South Africans. Happy winter solstice to all Americans, Canadians, Brits, Scots, and Irish. Look, we can just say happy summer solstice to everybody in the Southern Hemisphere. Happy winter solstice to everybody in the Northern Hemisphere. And I have been using that one lately, actually, saying, oh, it's summer solstice, and people from the Northern Hemisphere seem very confused, which is amazingly good. Amazingly good. We also have Jessica, who she can't be stopped. She can't be stopped. You can't stop her. She's given 10 readerships. So good. Thank you so much, Jess. You are an absolute gem. We've got, and usually I do these, if you're new to the channel, usually I do these in an announcer voice, which is terrible and cringe. The cringe is here. If you were looking for cringe this Christmas, look no further. You have found the cringe, all the cringe. And those go out to Blake for Dawn, Tyler West, Martino Berto, Peter Guns, Daryl Frost, Nitty, and that's Nitty. Scientific Origins. Actually, I think that's Austin Sims in a fake name, quite frankly. Leo, Phileas, and Babesy. Winners, chicken dinners. Enjoy your emotes and other benefits. No, a big shout out to Kip. Thank you so much for passing over, Kip. It was a very interesting stream that Kip was doing. Really cool. A lot of stuff that I didn't understand, but that's okay. I'm not good with languages. I admit it. It is a failing of mine, not Kip's. He's a champ. Absolutely awesome. So that is, and so glad you can join me now. What is AIMBOT? Am I morally bankrupt? Happy solstice? Yeah, sure. Hey, look, whatever if you're celebrating Hanukkah, if you're celebrating Christmas, if you're celebrating just general festive holidays, hey, all good. All good. I think that, you know, if you are doing no harm to people and celebrating the connections between humanity, I'm on board. I'm on board. I think we could use a lot more of that, actually, celebrating the shared humanity around the place, whatever that means to people. I'm not on board with excluding people, so everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. But yeah, big shout out to Kip. Thank you so much. And it was a really good stream. Now I'm going for an hour, so usually what was I going to do? Oh yes. I was going to grab some stuff. And I did. So AIMBOT, what is it? Am I morally bankrupt or them? We're going to be looking on Reddit for some, let's quote unquote, inspirational stories from people, and doing some, and this is important, some consensual, solicited moral judgment, right? So just as a rundown, morality, what is it? Look, everybody knows what morality is. Don't be scared. It's not this high philosophical content. It's really not. All morality says is what we ought to do, whatever that means to you. Whatever we ought to do. Ought we be accepting of people? Ought we protect our families? Ought we, whatever we should do is morality. That's essentially it. It's not hard to understand. I use secular humanism for my morality. Oh yes, update the schedule. Okay, am I updating schedules now? What I'll do, actually, before I forget, thank you to Freak. What I'll do is I'll pin the marathon link in the chat. So if you lose it, if you're just dropped in and you need back to the stream, the master list is here. Purple's master list. All right, beautiful. I'll slot that in and pin it so everybody knows roughly where it is. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's like Am I the Arsehole? Correct. So we're going in there, and one of the things that sort of what I do is I use secular humanism. That's my worldview. That's the one that I subscribe to. Essentially, I'm looking at we ought to do what's in the best interest for human well-being, right? That's all it really encompasses. And there's a lot of sort of fluff around it and sort of what you have to think and how. Not really, no. It's just if you prioritize humans, then you're a humanist. If you don't think religion should have any special place in society or in the governing of what we ought to do, then you're a secular humanist. That's about it. That's a simple breakdown of what it is. But other people come to other conclusions, and they use different ways to do that. And I'm interested in why, though. That's the thing. Anybody can say, "Hey, this action is absolutely horrible." Why? That's the question. You know, it's horrible to have sex outside of marriage, for instance. Why? Like, what's the reason? That is what interests me. You know, and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on that, and that's fine. I'm just going to do up a thing because I do and I do want to hear from you why you think it's right or wrong. I usually do not, for these solicited consensual judgments. I usually don't. I usually just pull them up. But I did go ahead and I picked out a few Christmas themed ones. I usually don't pick them out. Okay, this is something I usually do not do. But today for Christmas, I thought Christmas ones are thematically appropriate and probably quite interesting, because if there's one thing I've noticed that people have arguments about, it's celebratory things. It's celebrations. They absolutely argue about it completely. You know, I think that it's one of those things that we do argue about. You know, absolutely argue about how we should react to different situations. So let's grab our first one. Got it. And I will share that. Just give me 1 second. So first off, the rank for the aimbot. Am I the asshole for guessing my brother's Christmas? Is this some American? Like, I saw this and I'm like, is this an American thing? What is a Christmas word? And why would you be an asshole for guessing it? I don't know. I will try to make this short as possible. After Thanksgiving, my extended family played a game where we all wrote Christmas-related words, put them in a hat, and picked them out randomly, then taped them to our forehead. I'm sorry, what? You tape them to your forehead? What? Okay. I think I've played a drinking game like that. I think I played a drinking game where you stick like playing cards to your forehead. Not done a Christmas list. Wow. All right. Where we asked yes or no questions to figure out what our thing was. For reference, I put down the nice list, and my uncle got it. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. No, you're right, Jess. It's like Guess Who, but for Christmas stereotypes, I guess. I'm very confused. I'm very confused. When I put a word on my head, my cousin said he didn't know what it even was. That's okay. For a start, that's not a word. Okay, that's not a word. That is in fact 3 words. Like presents would be a Christmas word. Okay, that's the nice list is a Christmas object. It's a Christmas entity. That is what. That's not a word. So I told my brother, I think I have your word. Okay, he loves obscure Christmas lore, and it made sense he would use it for this game. What? Hang on a second. Why pick them out randomly, then tape them to our forehead? Okay, so you've got a random word on your head, or as the case may be, 3 words. Definitely a phrase. No, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. It's definitely a phrase. This is a bad game. I think I have you. He loves obscure Christmas lore. Okay. So I asked, am I an object you can hold in your hands? People said no, with my uncle also saying, I don't know what that is. So I was certain of the answer. Okay, so his uncle's looking in his head saying, I don't know what that thing on your head is. Okay, so like maybe it's a menorah, or maybe it's a Yule log, or maybe it's something. Look, okay, so everything's a great game if you're drunk enough. That's the first thing I got to say. Okay, every game is wonderful if you're drunk enough. So, am I the Krampus? I won right as the game started. I was the second person to ask a question. Okay, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, my brother got upset that I ruined the fun of putting the Krampus as a word in the hat. Okay, so hey, your brother put the Krampus in, which, it's not that obscure, right? It's not that obscure. The Krampus is pretty associated with Christmas, right? Like, wasn't there a horror film about the Krampus? It's not that obscure. I'm sorry. It's not. What do you think? Okay, well, first I'll give you an upvote because that's kind of interesting. Number two, I think you're fine. I think you're perfectly fine. I think you're absolutely fine. Um, let's see what the Redditors say about it. But first off, let's do this properly and get a poll going for you lovely people. Was the poster moral in guessing the Christmas word? Okay, so the question for me is, like, if you're really good at a game, like, is it no, it's not immoral to play that game. No. But, I think that if someone's really good at a game in any of these celebrations, you should play other ones as well that they're not good at, or that they're not going to completely, clean sweep something. I get that it's frustrating if someone's really good at games, but hey, you just have to accept it. If they're really good at it, they're really good at it. There's nothing, but if it frustrates you, it's probably a you problem. It's probably a you problem. I mean, the person who won can just sit out and sort of, you can just play on, see who comes in second, see who comes in third. I don't know. It's very, very wild. It's very wild. I don't know why you would blame somebody for that. I can understand. I would like to know how old the brother is, right? Like, because, younger people, they do that kind of stuff when they, get slaughtered at a game, they get angry and stuff. I know that when I was younger, I would get frustrated if somebody absolutely killed them. And okay, I think this is an insanely trivial thing for anyone to be fighting over, lol. Yeah, probably. Not the arsehole. Your brother is the obnoxious one by putting a word in the hat he knew many people wouldn't be familiar with. It defeats the purpose of the game. It's like playing 20 questions and choosing a person a guessing player isn't familiar with. It's an arsehole move. Well, I don't know if it's an arsehole move. I mean, I don't know if it's I think it's just, I think it's just, you're playing the game. That's part of the game, is, choosing something you're not familiar with. You, on the other hand, simply played the game that should be played. Use clues to deduce the word. Your brother sounds really, really annoying. Okay, so the question is the uncle an asshole for offering a clue out of sequence? Maybe. I really don't think so. I really think nobody is here. It's just, your brother sounds really, really annoying. A little, yeah, a little. If he's a young kid, though, like, young kids are annoying. Like, they're going to do that kind of thing. It's definitely not something to call him an arsehole over, but how dare you not validate your brother's obscure knowledge and overall superiority with sarcasm? Well, that is true. That is true. Next year, your Christmas word is wassail. Doesn't that mean to carol? What the hell does that word mean? Isn't that to carol? Like, to go caroling or something? Wassail? Oh, no. Okay. No, I'm completely wrong. It's a spice mulled hot drink. Okay. Okay. Historically, all right, this is interesting. Historically, it involved visiting orchards, singing to trees, and sharing communal drink from a large bowl to ensure a good harvest. Yes, those good Christian traditions of singing to trees. Yes, absolutely. No, it's a beverage. No, you're absolutely right. It's absolutely right. Okay, well, I've learnt a new word, so I'm happy this year for Christmas, I got a new word. Krampus isn't even obscure. Thank you. That should have been number one. It's equivalent to a guy who thinks he's a genius for reading Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, I'm a philosophical mastermind. I read Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, no, tons of people have. Okay, Yeah, he does sound about 8 years old. No, that's why I was asking what age he is, because wow, that's, okay. What have the good people got to say? Let's see. Oh, we've got a super chat by Detroit Atheist Queen, aka Kelly, aka Awesome Person. Happy holidays to our favorite Down Under. I'm your favorite Down Under friend. Oh, that is so sweet. Oh, thank you so much. I've never been somebody's favorite Down Under friend before. It's awesome. I'm not even joking. I don't know. I didn't choose to get born down here, quite frankly. I didn't choose it. I'm happy about it. I didn't choose it. It's very strange. I sometimes I feel like I'm very disconnected from the rest of the world, and I know that I'm not. Like everybody's connected now. One of the things that the internet brought us, I think it's wonderful, but sometimes I do, like, people talk about meeting up and seeing each other at conventions, and I'm like, oh, I'm like on the other side of the planet. But I love the community so much. It's so wonderful. I despise the trolley problem so much. Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people do. I think it's like you have to in order to like the trolley problem, you have to let go that there's a correct answer. You have to let that go, and it's hard to do. Yeah, absolutely. Morality is you beings with lifespans. I don't know what that means. Are two ethics courses and never cheered once? Not what ethics is. Okay, gotcha. Well, I think so. This comment's interesting because I think that there's a lot of focus. I was sort of seeing Matt Delahunty talk about this. There's a lot of focus on the atheist movement, atheist this, atheist that, but atheism doesn't really give you any kind of imperative of how to organize things, what to do. It's just a stance on a position on one question, one proposition. So it's kind of lacking. Atheism has been described as a moral, like a dead moral landscape, and that is true. It doesn't come with any of that. But so we need to focus more on secular humanism. It complicates property rights to firstborn sons. Absolutely does. Yes, correct. Love can mess you up way more than consensual sex. Trust me. I do trust you. Yes, I think that love can mess you up. But I think it can also be fantastic. I'm reminded of sort of there's a Japanese principle I've just started sort of looking up on it. Sort of it's wabi sabi, I think. So that can be your new word of the day if you don't have one. If you knew what wassail means, wabi sabi is sort of a Japanese philosophy of finding beauty in imperfection, and it's an interesting philosophy. It's really interesting. It basically, they do that thing like take the broken crockery and use gold to repair the broken pottery, making it more beautiful. But it's also it's a philosophy that sort of focuses on the cycles of damage and repair, and that makes it stronger and more beautiful. So I think when you sort of say, hey, love can mess you up, yeah, absolutely. But it can also, when you grow past it and repair that part of yourself, it can be more yourself can be more beautiful than what it started out with. So yeah. Never heard of a Christmas word. Sounds like a cult thing. It's a Mormon thing if ever I heard it. I don't know. It may just be their family's game, one of their games kind of thing. I have no idea. They used to play this game on Hey Hey It's Saturday. Okay, so Hey Hey It's Saturday, if you're unfamiliar, is an Australian show which was... It was a product of its time. It was incredibly racist, incredibly sexist. It was a have a fun Saturday night being absolutely awful to people. It was terrible. Celebrity Heads. I vaguely remember that. Yuletime Saturnalia. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I change every year probably. This year I'm doing happy summer solstice, and if you're in the northern hemisphere, happy winter solstice. But I switch them all the time. I'm never celebrating the same thing twice. It's fantastic. It feels so fresh and new. The person who picks the word doesn't know what the word is. Gotcha, aren't you? No, I gotcha. It's a concept item. It doesn't need to be a single word. Well, yeah, and maybe it should be, because there's some really obscure concepts, putting the star on the tree. Like maybe it should just be one word. Maybe this game needs more rules. I agree. Krampus is not obscure. Megan Fox says our little piss baby got mad. His sister knows him well. Yeah. No, basically. Eric McKelson says this is just winning a game. Yeah, absolutely. You're not an arsehole, you're just better read. Basically, even though Krampus, you've probably heard of it, if, like, it's not a obscure thing. I've heard of Krampus, but I don't know anything about it. Okay, so Krampus is the sort of a Germanic alternative. It's popularized from Germany, which is like Santa, but he's a darker version. He more steals children that are naughty, and is sort of a demonic Santa Claus who, rather, instead of bringing presents, he takes the naughty children, as far as I understand it. He's been popularized in a lot of horror movies, and games and things like that. He's just several films, right, Amber? Yeah. This is just sore losers. I agree. Clever. Yep. Next party, everyone dresses there's no need to rub it in. Like, seriously, come on. Dwayne Johnson took our place fighting the Krampus, so we didn't have to. Yeah, it has grown in popular culture. Absolutely. I would at least accuse him of cheating. Well, that does, if somebody does catch a glance of the card before you put it on your head, they would know what it is, right? Absolutely. Jess, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think as I got drunker, I got better at playing pool. I think that, there was... Okay, so there's a certain... if you're a pool player, right? So, if you're aware, maybe they call it 8-ball in America. We just call it pool. There's a certain curve of, like, as you get drunk, you get better at pool. And then once you reach a certain limit, your ability sharply drops. But there's this, like, of that curve, there's this apex point of where you're just drunk enough to be really good at pool, but not too drunk to lose all of your hand-eye coordination. And that's where you want to be. And I have trashed people in pool at that level. Just play another round. Yeah, absolutely. Lubar says, maybe this family aren't familiar with the Christmas traditions elsewhere in the world. I don't know. Sounds like an OP just knows their brother well. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me as well. Wheel of Misfortune. Okay. I do know Wheel of Goon. I could see wanting to drag it out, but not the arsehole for just guessing it. Right. Just play another round, or get one person, like, because all that would happen if he won is he sits out, and then other people try to guess. You're not meant to win immediately. You're meant to get it wrong a few times so that the game lasts distance. Okay, maybe say that out loud and not assume it. I don't think that's a thing. It's like if you play I Spy, right? Like, really, the game isn't to really win. Like, you're playing I Spy in a car. It's really to pass the time. It's not really to win. Okay. It's more to just, it's like if you say I Spy with My Little Eye something beginning with C, and someone goes cow, and they get it instantly, and you're like, oh, okay, you instantly got it. Like, why get angry about that? Arguments, welcome to Christmas. Yeah, arguments are fundamental. It's amazing how many of the "Am I an Arsehole" are about Christmas. It's pretty thingo. We never played the games that I was good at. Oh, I'm sorry, Aunt Jer. That sucks. like geography or games that required you to be mediocrely read. We would play it once, I would trounce everyone, and would never play it again. Yeah, I don't know. I do remember one of my favorite games to play was Trivial Pursuit, like that had trivia. And it was kind of, that was one that everyone was fine playing with me because I was really good on the nature questions, but there was like I think it was the pink ones that were like social and, you know, it was like sports and stuff like that. I was terrible at those ones, but I'd get the nature ones all the time. Nature and literature I would get all the time. So I think something like that balances out. Wassailing is drinking and singing. Okay. All right. I mean, if you're wassailing this year, I like that word. I like that word. Wassail all over the drunk. Well, did you know troll was a Christmas word? Maybe you can use troll next time as your Christmas word. Troll meant to like be happy and you know, engage in revelry. Troll, the ancient Yuletime carols, meant to like sing and be happy. Cool etymology. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Geronimus. Favorite down under friend. Yay. Yay. You tie with Chisha's friend Mania. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's cool. There's a lot of cool people down under. Totally. New Zealanders, Australians, Polynesians. Awesome. Awesome. Yes, atheism is not a social policy, political program, or philosophical worldview. Absolutely not. It's a really lousy word. Look, I think the disagreement is over its definition, Hang. People disagree with how to define it, and that's fine, right? It can be polysemous. It can have multiple different definitions. The important part is to find out what somebody means by it, and that's fine. Yeah. Sacrifice oneself to derail it. Yeah, you people are missing the point of it, but sure. Sure. Your son just told you about Wabi Sabi? Awesome. Yeah. Repairing. Yes, correct. Repairing. Yeah. It's a beautiful philosophy. That you know, and it sort of reminds me that some of the traumas that I went through when I was younger have made me a better person for it. But what we've always got to do is not to confuse the trauma, what we made of the trauma, with actually being a good thing. Okay, never confuse the two. It's bad what happened. What you got out of it was actually good, but it wasn't a good thing that it happened. You know, like don't ever confuse that. It would be better if it hadn't happened. Australia racist? Say it ain't so, Joe. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's this country has had a history of racism, like a lot of modern Western countries. Yeah, I observed. Well, problem with religious morals is that people don't understand the base moral reasoning as an individual. Group ethics don't substitute for individual or situational morality. Yes, but I would say that group ethics are really put together by intersubjective or a conglomeration of the people's morality, of the individual's morality. But that doesn't mean if you change your morality, it affects the group ethics at all. I think that ethics are sort of a consensus of morality. It's difficult to imagine them otherwise. Sadly, most of the wasabi outside of Japan is basically horseradish. Yes, it is correct. Yes, because wasabi is so expensive. Yep. I love Iceland's Yule Cat. I have never heard of that. I must know what it is. What is this Yule Cat? Beware the Yule Cat. All right, this is the most glorious thing ever. Why did nobody tell me about this? A huge and vicious cat. Aren't all cats vicious? I mean, really. Let's be real here. The Yule Cat. I give you the Yule Cat. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So this is like the Krampus for Iceland, but a cat. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, sure. Sure. I love that I've got it. I love that I've got it. Um, mm, it undermines the argument that the West needs Christianity to have. Yes, yeah. There's a lot of different moral systems in the West. Christianity is only one. I think that others do it better. I think that um, people in Scandinavian regions have a very moral society, and they rarely submit to Christianity at all. Except sport questions, yeah. Stupid sport questions. Let's see. Too good at it? Yeah. No, I get you. I get you. You know, and there's something to be said for if you do want to play a game with people, maybe don't absolutely destroy them at the game. Or my personal favorite is find cooperative games, right? Like there's Pandemic or Arkham Horror, where you are like cooperating against the rules of the game. I find those games to be the best because everybody can you know, be happy doing it because they're all working together. Okay, I'll go on to the next one. The materialism, naturalism, humanism. Yeah, all get blurred together, sometimes intentionally, but right, Eric. It's the conflation, right? Because if you can conflate secular humanism with any kind of secularism whatsoever, including sort of communism or, you know, atheism or anything like that, you can then point to some atheistic or secular places like, you know, Chinese under Mao or Russia under Stalin, and sort of say, hey, look, this is what secular gets you. And it's like, what secular humanism is not the same thing. Secular humanism has more in common with theistic humanism than it does with all of those other, you know, sort of communism and things like that. It definitely is not the same thing. But you're right, Eric. It is conflated by very, very dishonest Christians to sort of say, hey, it's all the same thing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Okay. How did you vote on the poll? What did the people say? What did you say? Completely moral wins it by not too much, but yeah, no one is immoral really came out as well. Yeah, sometimes we lose our temper a little bit, especially when gaming. Look, I've been frustrated by gaming. You know, I've been frustrated by gaming as well. I really have. So totally understand that. Let's see. Bang. All right. Next one up is, am I the arsehole don't want service dog over Christmas? I have issues. 35, host Christmas family. We host a large Christmas Eve party every year. I host because I've got a good house for it. Oh, look, okay. As somebody who's lived in units and apartments or flats or whatever you want to call them for most of my life, I totally get it. Having a you know, a good house for a massive gathering. Yeah, I feel your pain. I'm pretty central to the extended family. Oh, no, you've got a good house for it. Yeah. I'm pretty central to the extended family. Last year, my cousin had a service dog in training that she brought to Christmas Eve. Well, it's a service dog. I I mean, it's a service dog. Are they like, are they sight impaired? Are they is it an emotional dog? Like, it's a service dog, my guy. I was told this dog was maybe a year old. Well, yeah, it's just been trained. I don't have much experience with them and have never owned any. It pissed inside my house and other small annoyances occurred, one involving my kid. I did hear some complaints from another family member. Well, if it's in training, it's in training. I mean, that's frustrating, but if it's in training, it's in training, you know. Wow. A few weeks ago, I asked around to see if my cousin was coming because I was going to nip this in the bud this year and ban it. Okay, but it was in training, my guy. Has it been trained now? Like, if it's been trained, it's been trained. Like, yeah, I can understand that's frustrating. You know, any damages or whatever, probably your cousin should pay for it. If you have to get things steam cleaned, absolutely the owner of the service dog should pay for it. But, you know, if it's in training, that's a different situation. I was told by family members that she wasn't coming, so I thought there was nothing to have to deal with. I got notice on Sunday she, in fact, would be in attendance, so I called her yesterday to tell her that she could come and that her dog is not invited. Well, it's a service dog. My guy. My guy. Like, seriously, it's a service dog. This has caused drama. Oh, you don't say. Yeah. Yeah, in between, like, so if you're looking at the well-being of people, right? Like, so is the well-being of people going to be impacted? You are basically measuring up a small inconvenience or having to clean something or having to work around a dog versus somebody's personal safety. Okay, that is not an equation that comes out for me like, oh, well, that inconvenience outweighs somebody's personal safety. Okay, it just doesn't. Like, when you have a service dog, if somebody was sort of deathly allergic to the dog, that they would be suffering if the dog came, that would be a point. But if you're saying, hey, last year it misbehaved while in training, so I'm not going to allow to this person to have the dog that keeps them safe, that's ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous. This has caused drama. Yeah, probably should. I've been told that her parents, my aunt and uncle, and her siblings are threatening to not come. It's been a nightmare. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't work up sympathy for somebody that's going, you need this to be safe, but I'm not going to allow it in my house. That's ridiculous. I've offered to let the dog stay outside, but it can't come inside, but that's an unreasonable ask, I'm being told. Am I the arsehole here? Found out more information. It's a diabetic service dog. She's training it herself, got it as a puppy. I'm not going to comment on its legitimacy. Don't they, aren't they trained to bark when, like, they can smell blood sugar drop or something? Is that a thing? Yeah, a diabetic alert dog. They can smell the chemical changes that occur as insulin levels increase or drop. I mean, number one, that's pretty awesome that a dog can smell when your blood sugar drops and changes in glucose levels. That is pretty damn awesome. I'm actually impressed. I heard about this, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, they yeah, and they're trained to, like, fetch things to help them fetch their insulin and stuff like that. Wow. Wow. The dogs can, yeah, okay. I just know what my experience is. Well, it's definitely a thing. It is definitely a thing. And, like, if you are using that dog to help you with diabetes and it can sense that, especially on, like, Christmas, where, you know, blood sugar levels are probably going to be fluctuating, you know, high or low levels of blood sugar definitely going to be fluctuating. So I think that they're an arsehole. Like, that, I'm sorry, but I can't, you know, if you're weighing up a diabetic person being safe and, you know, the inconvenience of cleaning your house, I'm sorry, I just can't say, hey, that's equivalent. I just can't, and I hate it. Well, I don't hate it. It's just, it always makes me sad when people try and, you know, make it equivalent. You know, oh, don't give that person money because it could be a scam. Well, let's weigh up, you know, whether I lose change and they don't deserve it versus somebody needs to eat. You know, I'm not really going to worry about it. It's just, was the poster right for refusing service? Hound to Xmas party. I just, you know, look, a better tack would be say, hey, yes, if your service dog does anything that is problematic, we have to do X, Y, and Z, right? So this is setting boundaries, okay? And I get that if you want to have a boundary that, hey, your service dog can't come in my house, that's fine. But always realize that boundaries have consequences. And your boundaries, if you're going to say, hey, you're not allowed to have this, yeah, people might think you're an asshole because that sounds really immoral. You know, if you want to set a boundary that, hey, if your dog is doing things that people are upset with, or if they think, oh, you are responsible for your dog's actions, right? That's one thing. Saying they can't come at all when they need that dog is another thing. It's a problem because it's the same as sort of going, well, you can't have your walker to an old person, or you can't have your walking cane, or you can't have this thing that you rely on medically. It's not cool, in my opinion. It's not cool. But let's see what the Redditors say. We really need to answer you with the question, is it a task-trained service dog or an ESA? Okay, so they're asking, is it emotional support? A year later, a fully trained service dog won't cause the same issues, and you would be the arsehole. But she's calling an ESA a service dog and is still poorly trained like last year, then she's the arsehole. Tell us more. Edit. Oh, hell no. A diabetic alert dog? Hard, you're the arsehole. I kind of agree. Yes. Yes. OP, you don't have a leg stand as their cousin also may not if the diabetes takes their foot. Yeah, that's true. Edit 2, because I didn't expect this top comment. You volunteered to host with the full intention to nib it in the bud and ban this dog. If you had stated that you would like to skip hosting because of the dog and then been talked into hosting after being assured the dog owner wasn't coming and then found out that our dog owner was, this is getting complicated. After the plans were locked, then we might have more empathy for you, but that is not the situation you described. People saying you have every right to deny the dog are technically correct as you are legally allowed to do this, but this forum isn't, do I have the right? Correct. Correct. And that's something I want to bring up. Like, even if you legally have a right to do something, doesn't mean it's moral, right? Like, we've got to separate. And this is something I see Christians conflate all the time. Legal and moral things. They say, hey, you know, you're going to make it illegal for Christians to do this. No, just because it's immoral doesn't mean it's illegal, right? I could go out on the street and I could stare vehemently and angrily at everyone around me. It's not legal to do so, but it probably is immoral. I probably ought not to do that, right? Like, it's just one of those things that we don't make these prescriptive laws governing sort of crime and punishment about it, but it's not something you should do. So yeah, legally you can reject the dog. Legally you can reject your entire family. Legally you can reject you know, you can do anything you want to reject anybody from your Christmas party, but morally should you is a different question. So if you're ever talking to Christians, don't let them sort of go, well, morals and legal issues are the same thing, because they're not. They're absolutely not. It's, am I the arsehole? By the way, you are an arsehole. Yeah, you're being an arsehole to your cousin. Yes. Based on the info, your other comment, you're the arsehole. She probably shouldn't have brought it when it was still training and not yet toilet trained. That's true. That is true. And I hope that she was responsible for whatever the dog did. If you have a pet, if you have an animal, we can't blame the animal for, you know, attacking people, peeing on things. We can't blame the animal. It's just doing what animal do. Okay, as the pet owner or the animal owner, you're responsible for it 100%. You are. And that doesn't mean to say that we won't take consequences taking the animal away or unfortunately putting the animal down if it is dangerous, but really you're the one responsible for that. Like, you need to train your animals in our society or else you can't have them. Tiger King should probably pay attention to this. If you cannot control your animals in a human society, you should not have them. I'm sorry. But it is presumably now a fully trained, is properly trained service dog. Will not destroy the house, nor will it pee in the house again. Well, if it doesn't, it's not properly trained. If it's still peeing in the house and not a suitable service dog, and she will look to retire it to become a regular pet and seek professional advice with properly training a service dog if she requires one. Absolutely. And she would be responsible for anything that dog does, because she's the one responsible. Former service dog trainer here. Okay, this is the internet. You are allowed to doubt this information, okay? This is the internet. A lot of people say former fill in the blank here, including former atheist. Now, we can't tell whether somebody is a former atheist or not. A lot of people I see, and I'm gonna sort of point a finger at some atheists that will say, "Oh, that person obviously wasn't a former atheist." Who knows? It's the internet. Who knows? Who knows? Like, they could have been. They might not have been. They might absolutely have been. We don't know. That's the whole point. This person may or may not have been a former service dog trainer. That wasn't service animal training. At 1 year old, no service dog in training is going to have an issue with kids or piss in a house. That is not a service dog. They just bought a vest and call it a service dog. Okay, well, I don't know. Like, A, I don't know if you are a former dog trainer. B, I don't know if that is the case. I don't know. Service dogs are not entitled to enter private homes, only public spaces. Yes, but look, no. Okay, so the whole thing is, no, you're allowed to take a service dog onto sort of a private business kind of thing. But legally, we're not asking legally. This is legally they're not entitled to enter private homes. Correct. Legally, yes, but that's not the question we're asking. The question we're asking is, well, ostensibly, are they an arsehole for refusing it? But more pertinently, are they morally obliged? Is it a moral necessity to allow that dog to accompany their master to a party? And I would say yes, it is a moral necessity. You are endangering a person if you do not allow it. That's not cool. Does that mean that the dog can do whatever? No, of course not. Another thing that we've got to avoid is this black and white thinking. And I see a lot of theists do this, right? Like, a lot of theists go for this black and white, all or nothing. You know, if it's not immoral, it's perfectly moral. And if it's not moral, it's you know, life's a lot more complicated than that. You know, they sort of will have, especially sort of the more fundamentalist ones will go, well, if you don't have absolute certainty, then you don't know at all. And it's like, no, that's not how anything works. Our certainty is sort of granted upon the amount of evidence and the warrant for that conviction that we have. It's not an all or nothing thing. So avoid religion or religious people's ideas of black and white thinking. The dog was poorly behaved and poorly controlled at the last attempt in OP's home, and the handler did not appropriately manage the dog's needs. You could make that argument, sure. If it peed inside, yeah. I don't blame the OP for not trusting that the dog would be any better trained or handled a year later. I don't know. A lot of training can happen in a year. Like, seriously, a lot of training can happen in a year. I really think that you should, you know, it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 years to fully train a service dog. I don't think that is true. I don't think that is true. I'm not sure that that's true. Training an assistance dog. Apparently dogbase.co, 200 to 300 hours of training to, yeah, so maybe 1 or 2 years is what it seems to say. Like, presumably she's training it every day as you go through. Task training is 12 to 18 months. 12 to 18 months. Advanced public access and certification is 18 to 24 months. So yeah, 1 to 2 years seems to be around where you would expect it to be. So I think that isn't, well, depending on how much. Okay, so this is splitting it. Hang on, I'll just show you what I'm looking at. This is splitting it into sort of different types. Puppy socialization, basic. So you'd presume that basic obedience is really what you're after, and public accent training, 6 to 12 months. So yeah, I don't, task training. So this is sort of mobility assistant, medical alert, diabetes dogs. So that's usually 12 to 18 months. So yeah, a year later is actually a fair amount of time. advanced public access and certification. Presumably she's trying to get it ready for certification as a service dog. Should it need certification as a service dog in order to call it a service dog? I don't know. I'm certainly no expert. But I do know that I would doubt that on what I've just seen. Depending on task, sure. I have a friend who was a trainer of service dogs. Oh, okay. So if there's one thing you don't know, people on Reddit always have a friend who's an expert. Okay, they always have a friend that's an expert. They may very well do, but it's best to take it with a grain of salt. And trainers don't do more than basic obedience in the first year of the dog's life. But that's all it needs is basic obedience. The fact that the service dog was not house trained at 1-year-old is a problem with poor handling, not the arsehole. Not the arsehole. Okay. Sure. How long? Oh, I don't have that much time left. Gee, this actually took a lot longer than I expected. Okay. Well, I'll go through your comments and then we'll probably wind it up. I am sending it over to I'll just get the thing up. I am sending it over to Aposta Babe, Linda James, who I will enjoy watching next. But yeah, let's see what you guys have got to say. Let's see. Oh, just scrolling back. Oh, there's games. I've gone too far. Oh, hello, Big Bad Mama. There's this is Kent Hoven's 5th wife, Big Bad Mama. Yeah. One by Land, two by Sea says any hostility towards service dog is automatic loss. Yes, people do like dogs. Dogs are awesome. Dogs are really awesome. I'd like to have a dog. I can't. My wife is very allergic, but I would like to. In training, it's trained to be a service dog. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Purple says, it sounds like last year that dog might not have been adequately trained to be brought into a large group gathering. Yeah. Presumably with the additional year of training, all should be fine. Yeah, I think that you should, if they say it's trained, it's trained. Like at least give them the benefit of the doubt. If something happens, they're responsible for it. Blind person. No, it's not emotional support. Gotcha. Yep. I've read the verdict, Your Honor. He's guilty. Guilty, I say. Guilty. Training a service dog only takes 1 to 2 years. Actually, that seems to be right, Mage Grey Wolf. You seem to know more than the person with a friend who's an expert trainer. Just saying. Yes, you are the arsehole. I'm not sure if Kip is talking to the poster or me. I'm going to assume that it's the poster, because Kip wouldn't embarrass me in any way. Emotional support dogs. Yeah, you're right. They don't require anything. I'm trying to go fast because I want to get through some comments, but I also have to pass it over on a timely fashion. Baking soda and vinegar will get urine smells out of carpet and upholstery. And if you do need to, there are companies that will do steam cleaning and stuff. It's not the end of the world. They will. They will. Woe is me. I act like a jerk. People are going out of their way to avoid me. Yeah. Yeah. I saw a video of a little girl who had a diabetic service dog. The dog knows her to tell her to eat something. Yeah, that's amazing. Like, can we just stop and marvel at that? That is incredible. Sorry, a bit hasty. I need more information. Gut reaction, living with service dog, training for 2 decades. I think so too. I think it's totally manageable. If the service dog does something, then you can, so much for the forgiveness and stuff, Being an asshole is perfectly legal until people are fed up with you. No, it's just that morals are morals. Legal is legal, Well, I think morality sort of influences legal stuff. But I'm sorry, I've got to pass it over. I have reached my time. I do apologize. I would love to go through all of these comments, but I will do the poster is completely immoral. Yeah, no, everybody agrees on this one, and I don't blame you. I do not blame you. But let's get going. I will see if Aposta Babe has started, and I will send you over. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I've had a great time. And I hope you've had a great time too. I'm sorry that it took so long, but I will start and pass it over to Apostababe. Linda James, have a lovely holidays. Be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and have a happy new year as well. Take care, everybody.